Team BNL Karting Series season. Good to see that my good friend and series organiser Dave Ritson is having a look over the weekend results that are starting to come through here in the commentary box. But we have a race to attend to. DD2 and DD2 Masters season finale. Race 4 of the weekend. Race 12 of the season. The best 10 scores go towards the championship hunt. And we've got the following grid. Zander Schiblak in pole position alongside will be Sweden's David Remy in the 455. Dionysis, or DJ Liveris as is more commonly known, especially by his Instagram account, starts on third alongside Lasse Andreasen. Christoph Leinen and Jan Negussens round out row number 3. Sebastian de Grand and Christoph Adams, that's row 4. Jordi Klerbort and Fritz Wernsen, that's the top 10 completed. Ahead of Carl Klerbort, father of Jordi no less, and the fastest baker in Flanders, he starts 11th, ahead of Michael Becker from Germany. And then we've got Jamie Billings, Andreas Schindler, Tamsin Germain, Konrad Bayer, Silvio Piparato from Germany, Wout Antonissen, Roland Kinch, Wout Colson, and I kind of thought it with one DNS, one non-start. Ronald Billings would not be joining us for the final race of the season, so a big thank you to him for that. So 13 minutes set on the clock. And closing the action a little bit later, well, not too far away, it is the final race of the season. Senior Max closes out the action, and I simply cannot wait. But DD2 and DD2 Masters, it looks like we have one champion, I think pretty much confirmed, but I'll wait until the race ends to tell you that one. But it's very close at DD2 because Zander Schiblak and Dionysis Liveris were 13 points adrift coming into this round, not including drop scores. But Schiblak has had the measure of the field. He is the defending champion. Could he make it 2 successive years on the trot here this weekend? We'll find out in around about 13 or so minutes time. Probably make that 14 and a half. Red lights ignited on the starting gantry for the final time. The final time for this class, but the penultimate time of the 2019 season. The rain continues to fall plentiful here in karting Genk, but the action is only going to get hot, and that's under the collar. As we wait for the drivers to get into formation, which they are starting to do now, being led by Zander Schiblak and David Remy. Being told to slow a little bit to get them all into rolling start formation. So they come around the final corner. Here we go. Lights on the starting gantry, ready to go out at a moment's notice. They put the accelerators down as hard as they can, despite the wet weather conditions, and we go lights out for the final time in DD2 and DD2 Masters. What a start from David Remy. Absolutely blasted past Arsenal. Dionysis Liveris just absolutely threw it up the inside of everybody and tried to go for the lead. Zander Schiblak back on terms at the front of the field, and then David Remy slingshots past the pair of them. Schiblak down into third. Liveris takes the lead. Schiblak up into second. Does he go for the lead? No. And he has to slot back into third. That's a great initial, hard-fought, clean exchange between the top 3. But Dionysis Liveris now in the lead ahead of David Remy. Zander Schiblak now trailing in third position. What a lightning start from the Greek driver with Dames Racing. And that's an explosive way to start the final race of the season, DJ Liveris, you absolute animal. As David Remy goes up the inside of the Greek driver to take the lead back. And now Zander Schiblak getting stuck in, and it's definitely kicking off all the way up and down the field. So they're coming through down into turn 10 to make their way to complete what has been an explosive first lap, if ever I saw it, through DD2 and DD2 Masters. Liveris leads. Schiblak shoots past Remy. Oh, that was a bit naughty there, I must say. A little bit of a touch from rear bumper to front bumper as Schiblak went for it, went to close round the outside of Remy, made the move, but the slightest amount of contact. Dionysis Liveris gets a little bit sideways as he puts the power down, coming out of the final corner. But there have been quite a few changes. So Liveris leads from Schiblak. It's game on. I don't think it's going to be enough, but let's see how much things can change in the next few moments, because Dionysis Liveris was like a Greek minotaur just charging his way to the front of the field, and he's made it happen. Zander Schiblak's got to watch his back bumper because he's got David Remy chasing him down. like it was going out of fashion. Lasse Andreasen and Christoph Leinen round out the top 5. So Leinen now leads the DD2 Masters classification in this race. Carl Kleebold, in the meantime, has got up to 9th place and is just behind fellow Belgian Christoph Adams in the 555. A big rooster tail from someone's right rear tyre going through the exit of turn number 8 as the top 3 pulling away quite considerably. It was over 7/10 of a second last time around as Dionysius Liveris has to keep the cart under control as Schublak gets an absolute run of momentum, goes right round the outside and does exactly the same thing to Dionysius Liveris. As Liveris fights back and says, you want to play rough? I'll play rough. I'll have it back off you, clean and fair. And he does so right then. Schublak going back up in the inside for the lead. He can't get through, but Liveris goes wide. Schublak goes back into the lead. Cut back from Liveris, trying to go round the outside. And he makes it stick going into turn 3. This is absolutely brilliant. Dionysius Liveris said, post the final race at Marienburg, saying, I wanted a fight. Well, my friend, you've got one. Zander Schublak is definitely giving no quarter. He wants to defend his title, but he's got to be very, very careful that he doesn't overstep the boundaries in terms of driving standards. So the top 3 pretty much with each other, but Liveris trying to get away from Schublak and Remy not letting them breathe easily right now. And a little bit further down the order, Christoph Leinen up into 4th place, having got past Lasse Andreasen. Christoph Adams now in 2nd in the DD2 Masters classification, running 6th ahead of Jan Negusson, Sebastian Legrand and Carl Kleebold rounds out the top 3. Tamsin Germain's absolutely having a brilliant race, up into 10th place now, and that makes her 4th in the class in DD2 Masters. So Tamsin Germain took a win earlier on this weekend, yesterday thereof. So let's see what her times are at the minute. 1 minute 17.2. That's not too bad. That's actually a lot quicker than the likes of Jan Negusson and Sebastian Legrand, as Schublak really putting the pressure onto Dionysius Liveris, and Liveris is definitely making sure that Schublak knows that he has got to fight for that victory to close out his season. If Zander Schublak wants it bad enough, he'll do it, but he can't do it by any means necessary. But Liveris goes wide off of turn 6. Schublak retakes the lead. Liveris gives him a little love tap from behind on the back bumper and bump drafts him all the way down to turn 7. They've got to be careful. Obviously, the front fairings are checked post-race. Excuse me. But David Remy, whilst the two at the front have been battling, David Remy has been like a silent Swedish assassin, trying to keep on the back bumper of the pair of them. And he's run on the back bumper of Dionysius Liveris as Schublak trying to power away from the Greek driver in the 436. So 8 minutes and 15 plus an additional lap left to go in the penultimate race of the 2019 BNL Karting Series season here at Karting Genk. So Schublak gets a better hole shot coming out of that corner, going into turn 12. Remy trying to keep Dionysius Liveris very, very honest here. But Liveris is trying to fight that cart as he powers out of the final corner. Seems to be a characteristic with the setup he's probably got on there. But Remy closes up in the braking zone. Can't go past quite yet as Dionysius Liveris takes a very, very tight defensive line coming out of turn number 2 into turn 3. Now into the left at 4, into 5. Now this is very reminiscent of the turn 7 triple left at Istanbul Park when Turkey used to host a Formula 1 Grand Prix. But it's still an impressive sight. The amount of momentum carry they get through it is incredible once they get the run coming out of turn number 3. But Schublak now has a lead. It was just over 6/10 last time around. Dionysius Liveris has got to wait. Well, he's got to try and defend now because whilst Schublak is getting away, Remy is not letting him breathe at all by any stretch of the imagination. Half a car length between the pair, nearly side by side coming out of turn number 9. And Remy's got the whole shot. He's going down into turn 10. He bumps, gives a little tap from behind to Dionysius Liveris and goes up the inside of the Greek driver to take second through turn 11. Liveris takes a quick glance over the left shoulder to see where Christoph Leinen is and knows that he's now got to really fight for it because that's allowed Zander Schublak to canter away. Schublak now crosses the line. We have 6 minutes and 40 plus an additional lap to go. Remy in second, 1.9 seconds adrift. That's how much Liveris has been battling and defending against Remy, and that has just allowed Zander Schublak to just get away and run away with it. But then this is... So if Schublak is champion-elect, who's going to be second in the standings? It's still all to play for. And in the meantime, Christoph Leinen still is only 3.5 seconds behind the leader. Christoph Leinen's showing a good turn of pace. He's been running in the 1 minute 15s, high 1:15s, low 1:16s. He was actually 0.6 of a second quicker than DJ Liveris on that last lap. The 1 minute 16.009, and Liveris was exactly 0.6 of a second slower. And now Christoph Leinen is closing on DJ Liveris. The rain again starting to fall down even heavier right now. And this is really going to put, as someone's got a lot of steam coming from the back of their cart. Looks like someone's gone through a major puddle or gone off track and has gone off track and has spun at turn 7. Who's that? That looks to be an RS competition cart by my reckoning. That could be maybe Konrad Bayer by my reckoning. So literally went flying into turn 7 and couldn't put on the brakes soon enough, and it just spat the back end out and put the driver 180 degrees pointing the wrong way. So Scribbelack now has a lead of just over 2 seconds from David Remy from Sweden. Dionysius Liveris 2.88 seconds away from Scribbelack. The time is fast clicking away. It's under 5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap in this final race of their season. And at the minute, Dionysius Liveris, DJ Liveris really needs to keep an eye out, because Christoph Leinen is pretty much close on pace. Last time around, Leinen did a 1 minute 15.738, and he was slightly quicker than Dionysius Liveris. There's a nice little battle here. That's between the 5.15 of Andreas Schindler and probably Silvio Piparato, I think. Two German drivers going at it out on track in terms of battling each other. So 4 minutes 20 plus an additional lap. And just seeing a few more drivers starting to make their way up the order. Tamsin Germain still in 10th place and is still sitting. Well, she's now sitting in 4th place in class, but a top 10 finish to see out the season wouldn't be a bad run at all for Tamsin Germain. So Sebastian Dugrand is ahead of Carl Klebort in 9th place. Janne Gussen still sitting in 7th behind Lasse Andresen in 5th, and Christoph Adams in the 555 in 6th place. So we have 3 minutes and 40 plus an additional lap to go. Son of Scribbelack has a lead of now over 2.1 seconds ahead of David Remy from Sweden. Then it's DJ Liveris from Greece in 3rd place. Christoph Leinen in Belgium, from Belgium in 4th. Lasse Andreas in 5th. Christoph Adams, Janne Gussen, Sebastian Dugrand, Carl Klebort, Tamsin Germain, Fritz Wernsten, and I was right, it was Konrad Bayer who's tumbled right down to the back end of the order in 20th, who went spinning off at turn 7 a few moments ago. Jamie Billings in 12th, Michael Becker in 13th, Roland Kinch, Andreas Schindler, who got past Silvio Piparato for 15th just a moment ago. Wout Antonissen, Wout Coulson, Jordi Klebort has tumbled all the way down to 19th place, and Konrad Bayer is still circulating in 20th. So we're coming into the last just under 3 minutes of this season, plus an additional lap. And the gap now nearly 2.5 seconds between first and second place, as there's been another change. Janne Gussens has dropped down a couple of further places, as Sebastian Dugrand and Carl Klebort have now gotten past the 490. And Janne Gussens has got Tamsin Germain not that far behind, as Germain did a 1 minute 16.417. Janne Gussens did a 1 minute 15.7. So Tamsin is about just under a second off of Janne Gussens for 9th place. And Sander Scribbelack casually, calmly makes his way down into turn 10. Around 2 minutes on the clock remaining. David Remy and DJ Liveris round out the top 3. Still a very tall and tricky order for all of the drivers out there, braving the elements to try and put on a show, and we definitely got one at the beginning of this race. I don't know how Dionysius Liveris, or DJ as I'm now going to call him from now on, because if everyone says, well, what do you call him, Dionysius and then DJ? Well, I know him as DJ as a friend, but he's also Dionysius, so that's when I originally started commentating on the BNL last year. But DJ trying to do his best. He tried to get a win at the end of the season. It wasn't enough, but he's having to settle for 3rd this time around in this race. But all results are provisional when they're called out by myself on the live stream and the commentary here. It's pending any sporting and technical regulations and any discussions with that race control might be having post-race. So at the moment we are into the last 60 seconds of the DD2 and DD2 Masters season, plus one additional lap. So Zander Przyblak at the moment coming through the exit of turn number 9, and down into turn 10 he comes. So there he is, just calmly getting on with the business at hand. So he goes through the final corner. Puts the power down, comes across the start-finish line with around 27 or so seconds remaining. Make that 26. So this is the penultimate lap of the season. And his gap between himself and David Remy is now 2.737 seconds. DJ Liveris now 5.663 seconds off of the leader in third place. Great showing from Christoph Leinen in fourth, 8.9 seconds adrift. As we're getting a nice little battle going into the final corner, a little bit further down the order. And one of them looks to be the 442 of Jamie Billings, and it's the 527 of Fritz Wernsen. So that's a great battle over what is 12th position on the road, 12th and 11th respectively. So Billings is ahead of the Belgian. As Zander Przyblak, as we've got yellow flags, and someone has spun, that is Conrad Bayer, I believe, once again. So, yep, that is the case, and he puts the throttle down quite vigorously coming out of turn number 11. So the yellow flag has been retracted, and Zander Przyblak makes his way out of turn 11 for the penultimate time of the season, and just powers down towards turn 12. To come across the start-finish line. One more lap to go for Zander Przyblak here on home soil in Belgium. David Remy a little bit further adrift. It's going to be over 3 seconds this time, 3.46, as DJ Liveris comes across the line to take third. Christoph Leinen still keeping pace, but Lasse Andreasen is closing, and last time around was a little bit quicker, about 2.5 tenths. So, but nevertheless, Christoph Leinen looking to possibly take a class win at the end of this season. So that'd be a good way for the 588. And Zander Przyblak now comes through turn 8 for the final time of asking. Just calmly makes it through. As we've got a little bit of a battle between Wout Coulson and Jordi Klebold in the dying stages for 18th place, but through turn 10 for the final time. Through the left-hander at turn 11, sprinting down towards the final corner of the season. The checkered flag is now being prepared. And from Belgium, with the Bouvin power embroiled on his side pods, Zander Przyblak takes the final win of the season, and I think he knows what has happened. I think he's done the double. He took the title last year. I think provisionally, I think he's our champion again this season. 2 for 2 in a row. David Remy takes second. 3.881 seconds adrift of the Belgian. DJ Liveris from Greece tried to fight at the beginning, gave us all something to cheer about in terms of adrenaline and excitement. Ended up third at the end of it. Lasse Andreasen would take fourth. Christoph Leinen ends his DD2 Masters season in the BNL karting series with a class win, just under 0.6 of a second ahead of fellow DD2 Masters competitor Christoph Adams. So Leinen takes 5th, Adams takes 6th and 2nd in DD2 Masters. Sebastian Legrand in 7th. Carl Klebold, I think, pretty much has taken the DD2 Masters title this season. And what a run from him this year he's had. So, Carl Klebold, provisionally speaking, is the DD2 Masters champion, but on the screens, for those watching at home, that, provisionally speaking, is your DD2 champion for 2019. Zander Przyblak, the 412 from Bouvin Power from Belgium. What a way to close out a season. Rounding out the order, it is Carl Klebold in 8th, Yanni Gustens in 9th. Tamsin Germain rounds out the top 10 overall and finishes 4th in DD2 Masters. Then, it is Jamie Billings, Fritz Wernsen, Michael Becker, Andreas Schindler, Silvio Piperato, Wout Antonissen, Jordi Klebold, Wout Coulson, Konrad Bayer, and Roland Kinch rounding out the 20 strong. And that concludes the DD2 and DD2 Masters campaigns for the BNL Karting Series in 2019.